Are you ready to start a packaged food business or move it out of your home kitchen into a commercial kitchen? Maybe you're wondering now what it is you need to know about going to work and building your business out of a commercial kitchen. So that's what this video is all about. For the best packaged food advice, please subscribe to the Food Business Success channel and be sure to click on the bell and be notified every time I release a new video all about starting a profitable food business. Most packaged food businesses that I know when they're starting do make their own product, and sometimes you can operate out of your home and sell direct to consumers through cottage food, but sometimes you can't depending on your product. Or if you're ready to go into wholesale, then you definitely need to be working out of a commercial kitchen. So there are a lot of mistakes that I want to help you avoid, as well as just know what it is that you need to be looking for so that you can find the best fit for you and the commercial kitchen and your product. So I'm going to go over the common mistakes as well as what to expect when you start working out of a commercial kitchen. So be sure to watch this video to the end to get all of my tips. Hi there, I'm Sari Kimbell. I am the founder of Food Business Success, and I have helped hundreds of food business entrepreneurs start and grow profitable food businesses, including helping them get onto grocery store shelves in small and major retailers. I would love for you to leave a comment and let me know what kind of business you are thinking about starting or growing. And be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you can be notified every time I release a new video on a new topic. All right, so the first question is, why do you need a commercial kitchen? So the sort of food safety aspect of it is that many producers are required to work out of a commercial kitchen that is licensed and inspected by the state or by the county as being food safe, right? So there's going to be equipment and things like 3-compartment sinks and the right materials inside the kitchen that are going to be very food safe, very easy to clean. Honestly, a lot of times producers sometimes just need the 3-compartment sink, especially food trucks. So if you think about a commercial kitchen, obviously any restaurant, it does have a commercial kitchen that they have to be operating out of that. But in packaged food businesses, you have the option to use what's called a commissary kitchen. So a commissary kitchen is a commercial kitchen that then they also rent out time to producers or caterers, people like that who don't need a brick and mortar location. So they rent out time in that kitchen, usually by the hour, sometimes a monthly fee. It just kind of depends on the kitchen a little bit. So that's great news for you that you don't need to go out and build your own commercial kitchen space. Most communities have access to hopefully one in your area of a commissary kitchen, if not many to choose from. So some ideas on where to find a kitchen, or how do you find a kitchen. So my favorite resource is called thekitchendoor.com. And so they have compiled every commissary kitchen that rents to the public in that listing. So you can go in and search by your zip code or by your city. So give that a try and see if you can find the kitchen that you need in the right location. Another option is like schools. I've seen people go into their like elementary schools or high schools or maybe the district kitchens. So every school has a commercial kitchen that is producing lunch for the students there. So maybe in the off hours at night or on the weekends, you might be able to create a relationship and an agreement that you could do that. I've also seen people work out of like bakeries or cafes that maybe close, at 2 p.m. And so it makes sense that they could then go in at night and use that space, or vice versa. Like if there's where I live, there's a kind of a club bar that is closed during the day, and so people can rent out their kitchen space until they open up at night. So those might be some other options. I mean, if you have a friend in a restaurant who owns a restaurant or chef at a restaurant, you might be able to work something out there. So any commercial kitchen can be a commissary kitchen, and all commissary kitchens are commercial kitchens. So hopefully that makes sense there. Be sure to check out my other videos on this channel, including the one about the different types of packaged food businesses, as well as which licenses you need. That's gonna be really important as you move along in your food business journey. Okay, so you know what to look for in a kitchen, you know how to find a kitchen. So you go and you meet with the operator, you're feeling really good about everything, you sign their contract, you put down any deposits that you need to, and then they're gonna sign what's called a commissary agreement. So this is an agreement that goes with your application for a wholesale license or a retail license. So it's going to the health department with your application that basically says the kitchen is holding a space for you when you get your license. And so sometimes they will give you a date like 8 weeks out. So you want to be sure you get that application in quickly, depending on your where you live and what kind of application it is. I definitely see 6 to 8 weeks being pretty typical to get that all reviewed. So you get that commissary agreement signed. Typically a kitchen is also going to want insurance and have you name them as an additionally insured. So be sure you also, as part of signing that agreement with the kitchen, you're going to have to show that you do have insurance. I like a company called Flip, flip.com. So you could, I'll put the link in below, but you could check them out. So be sure that you have insurance ready to go, or that you can, pull the trigger on it as soon as you need to. Get the commissary agreement signed, put down any deposits, and then you just kind of wait at that point. So I highly recommend doing this work early on because it is going to take some time. Commissary kitchen managers are busy. Like I said, they typically are running their own business out of there. So they're not always the most responsive. So keep trying. Don't be afraid to keep following up with them. Getting those appointments can be time consuming. And then you got the time to wait for the license to go through. So don't put this off. This is definitely going to be a 6 to 10 week process. So this is probably the biggest, most important thing that you can do for the next stage of your business, whether you are starting your business, you want to go into wholesale, or you're wanting to move out of your home kitchen. All right, so we've talked kind of high level, what is a commercial kitchen, why you need it, and also how to find a kitchen. So the next thing is really what to look for in a kitchen. So you may be in an area where you have lots of options, or at least several options to choose from. So not every commissary kitchen is going to be the best fit for your product and your business. So some of the things that I recommend to the people that I work with is, first you want to see if you can find a commissary kitchen that aligns with your product type. So oftentimes commissary kitchens are owned by other food business brands that have built their own space and made it specific for their type of product. And so for instance, we have bakery, somebody who makes pastries and things like that for coffee shops. So they have their own kitchen, and then they also rent it out as a commissary kitchen. So in that particular case, this kitchen is going to really be built out for baking, and maybe less so for like sauces. So then we have a kitchen where I live that they make hot sauce and salsas. So they're going to have more equipment for bottling and the right kind of, very large scale equipment that you might need. So you want to see if you can find a kitchen that kind of already has the equipment that you're going to need and is really built out for your type of product. So that's probably the first thing. You also, based on your product type and how you're selling it, you are going to need to have the storage spaces that are going to be required by the health department. So that can be the tricky part when you want to go maybe work out of a restaurant. Like, let's say your friend is a restaurant owner and they're like, yeah, come and work out of my kitchen. But if they don't have the cooler space that you might need or the dry storage space, that's not going to work with the health department. So if you need to bring in, let's say you're going to freeze things, or you're going to bring in ingredients that need to be refrigerated ahead of time, you're going to need to be sure that you have all of the proper spaces. So the 3 spaces that you would need to see if you need would be dry storage. So that would be all of your dry ingredients as well as your packaging. And then you have your cold storage, which is cooler space. And then you're also going to have freezer space potentially. So again, it just is going to depend on your product type about which one of those, if not all of them, that you're going to need. And so typically kitchens will charge a monthly rental fee for those kind of spaces for you. So one of the ways that you can get around that, again, it's still going to depend on your product type, is to be able to go bring everything in, make it, and bring everything out, and you're not going to reuse it. So let's say, for instance, you're baking cookies. You could bring in all of your ingredients that are unopened. So you could buy a 5-pound bag of flour, you could buy your sugar, your eggs, everything like that. You could bring it all in, make your product, use up as much as you can that day, and then package everything, right? And so now it's packaged, so you can take it off site. So if you have any opened ingredients though, if you can't store them at the kitchen, then you cannot reuse them for your wholesale product. So let's say you had some milk and you didn't use it all, then you could certainly take it home and use it in your home kitchen, but you technically can't bring unopened product back into the kitchen. So if you wanted to keep milk there, you would want to have a cooler space that you could store that in. So hopefully that makes sense, and you can understand the logic of that from a food safety perspective, right? When things leave our space, now there's room for things to go bad over time or not be refrigerated at the proper temperature. Like, your home kitchen is not a licensed commercial kitchen. Okay, so those are some things that you want to look for when going into a kitchen. The other thing would be, what to expect or how to negotiate that. So like I mentioned, most commissary kitchens will charge by the hour. And depending on your needs, like if you just need prep or you just need the sink, something like that, then they may have a lower hourly rate. Sometimes they'll put together a package. I know when I worked at a commissary kitchen, we did a minimum of 8 hours. So everybody got charged 8 hours. And then if you went over that, then you got charged an additional hourly fee. And like I mentioned, most of them will charge for your storage spaces. And so sometimes they'll just put it all into one package deal. This is what you get. This says how many hours you get, or sometimes everything's kind of a la carte. You would definitely want to be sure you meet with the owners or the operators of the kitchen. Make sure it's a good fit for you, that you feel good in there. Ask them about what other clients they have. Make sure that they have time that fits into your schedule. When you're coming into a kitchen, if they already have a lot of tenants there, then a lot of times those prime spots, that time is going to be taken up. So they may have space, but it might be at 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. or something. So you do want to definitely ask those questions about, when are you going to be able to get in? Is it hard to get in? What's your scheduling system? How far in advance can I reserve time? What's your cancellation policy if I end up not needing that time? to some of those questions, because you just want to be sure that you can actually get in at times that will work for your schedule. But do be flexible, because like I said, it can be hard sometimes, especially when people are more established, they already have their set times, and you are just coming in. And then you just want to be sure you really understand your contract. Do you need to put down a deposit? Are there going to be things that they require from you? Do you have to provide shelving for dry storage, or do they? How do you get out of the contract? How much notice do they need? Late fees, how to do the hourly billing, things like that are all good questions to ask. And then just make sure you feel good about that person, and that it would be a good working relationship. What are the mistakes that I want you to avoid? It would be about not shopping around. I want you, if you have access to more than one, I want you to look at all your options, meet with them, send them an email, try to get an appointment. Really, you definitely want to check out the actual kitchen itself, and make sure that it has tools and equipment that are designed specifically for your product, because the whole point of going into a commercial kitchen, especially if you're scaling up from a home business, is to make things really efficient. And so you want to maximize your time in there and make sure that you can get things done really quickly, and having the right equipment is certainly key to that. So not shopping around, and really checking all of your options out. Assuming that they have storage and all of the things that you're going to need based on your product type can definitely get you into trouble. So you definitely want to interview them, understand what kind of storage you're going to need for your product based on what your process is going to be, and then make sure that they do have that, because sometimes that can be the deal killer, because the health department won't approve your application if you don't have access to that particular storage. Other mistakes that I see are not cleaning up after yourself well enough and getting into trouble, and having to deal with other people's mess. So keep in mind that this is basically a communal kitchen. Even though you're gonna have set times, usually it's not like everybody can be there all at once. But it is your responsibility to go in. Let's say you have a 3-hour window. It should be clean. The kitchen should be clean and ready to go when you come in. And then at the end of your 3 hours, you should be out the door at the end of 3 hours with a perfectly clean, spotless kitchen. So you really want to manage your time. It's a shared kitchen. And then you're going to have to deal with, of course, there's going to be people who don't do that. And so what's your recourse there? And understand, having a good relationship with the operators of that kitchen. I had somebody I was working with who got kicked out of his kitchen because they felt like he wasn't cleaning up well enough after his session. So don't be that person. You want to go in and really plan and leave the kitchen better than you found it. So that was a lot of great information. I hope it was super helpful about what to think about and what to avoid when you're going into a commercial kitchen to make your food products. So if you're ready to start that packaged food business, I want you to pick up my business checklist that will take you through all of the steps that you need to start your business, and make sure you've checked everything off of your list. So pick up that checklist below. The link is below. I would love to know what other questions I can answer in these videos about starting or growing your packaged food business. I really want to flatten your learning curve and really help you out with these videos. So please let me know what other questions I can answer. And of course, please comment and subscribe below. It really helps me as I grow this channel and my audience. And finally, if you want to join a community of like-minded food business entrepreneurs, I do have a closed Facebook group, Food Biz Success, that you can join and be in that group. You could also join me in my monthly coaching program, where you get access to me and can ask me questions on 2 group coaching calls per month. And I also include a bonus resource every month. So it's a great way to stay on track and get your questions answered quickly. Thanks for watching this video to the end. I wish you all the success on your food business journey, and I hope that I can be a part of making your food business real.